Hey, I'm really glad you clicked on this one, because what I'm about to show you is something I genuinely wish I'd known about 10 years earlier. And honestly, I wish more doctors talked about it. So let me ask you something. When you look in the mirror and tilt your chin up slightly, what do you see underneath? Is the skin there still tight, still firm? Or does it hang just a little? Maybe more than a little? If you're nodding right now, I want you to know something important. That is not inevitable. That is not just aging. And it is absolutely not something you need surgery to fix. I've had patients come into my office absolutely convinced that the only answer was a neck lift. Thousands of dollars, weeks of recovery, real risks all because nobody told them what I'm about to tell you. And when I showed them this instead, these simple, specific jaw and neck movements, more than a few of them actually cried. Not because it was sad, because they were relieved. Here's what most people don't understand about what's happening under that skin. It's not just fat, it's not just loose skin either. What you're actually seeing when you look at a turkey neck is a group of muscles that have weakened, dropped, and essentially forgotten what their job is. The platysma, the digastric, the mylohyoid. These are real muscles, just like the ones in your arms or your legs. And just like any other muscle in your body, they respond to training. They respond to resistance. They respond to being woken back up. And here's the part that surprises most of my patients. These muscles can be retrained at any age, 60, 70. Even beyond that, the research on muscle plasticity is clear on this. Your body is not finished, not even close. I'm Dr. Ayla, and if what I just described sounds a little too familiar, you are exactly where you need to be right now. Because what I'm going to walk you through today isn't a gimmick, it isn't a gadget, and it isn't some cream that promises the world and delivers nothing. It's a 30-second jaw exercise rooted in actual anatomy that targets the exact muscles responsible for that sagging and begins to rebuild the structure underneath your skin, naturally, gradually, and starting today if you want it to. Now, I do want to be upfront with you about something. 30 seconds a day is what I'm recommending as a starting point, but the results you'll see depend a lot on consistency. This isn't a one-night miracle. What it is, though, is a genuine, low-effort daily habit that my patients have used to see visible changes in as little as 3 to 4 weeks, some faster. And look, I know that sounds almost too simple. I get it. But when you understand the anatomy behind it, it'll make complete sense. And that's exactly what I want to give you, not just the what, but the why. Because when you understand why something works, you actually do it. So stay with me because the next part I'm going to share is the piece that most people never hear, and it changes everything about how you approach this. So let's talk about what's actually happening because once you see this, you can't unsee it. Underneath your chin and along the front of your neck, there's a flat, broad muscle called the platysma. It runs all the way from your collarbone up to your jaw. When you're young, it's toned, it's active. It holds everything up almost without thinking about it. But here's what nobody tells you, the platysma is one of the most underused muscles in the entire body. We don't chew the way we used to. We don't move our jaws against resistance. We eat soft foods. We sit with our heads tilted forward toward screens, and slowly, so slowly, you don't even notice it happening, that muscle starts to lengthen, loosen, and drop. And when the platysma drops, everything above it follows. The fat pads beneath the chin shift forward. The skin that was once supported from underneath starts to hang, and you end up looking in the mirror at something that feels like it happened overnight, even though it actually took years. Now here's what gives me so much hope about this, because that muscle didn't die, it didn't disappear, it just got lazy, and lazy muscles with the right kind of targeted stimulus respond beautifully, faster than you'd think actually. There's a second muscle I want you to know about too. It's called the digastric, and it's just behind and beneath your chin. It's small, but it plays a huge role in the contour of that whole under chin area. When it's weak, it creates that soft, undefined look, that shadow beneath the jaw that makes the neck look older than it is. When it's activated regularly, it starts to pull things back into place, literally. And then there's posture, and I say this gently because I know it's not easy to hear, but the position of your head throughout the day is doing more damage to your neck than almost anything else. Every time your chin juts forward even slightly, you're stretching those muscles in the wrong direction. You're putting them under a kind of passive strain that reinforces the sagging. So part of what I'm going to teach you today is not just the exercise, but the awareness. Because 5 minutes of the right movement followed by 8 hours of the wrong posture is fighting itself. Alright, so let's get into the exercise, and I want you to actually try this with me if you can, because feeling it is so much more powerful than just hearing about it. Sit up straight, not rigid, just tall. Chin level with the floor, shoulders relaxed. Take one breath in through your nose and let it out slowly. From this position, I want you to press your tongue flat against the roof of your mouth as hard as you comfortably can. Hold it there. Now swallow. Feel that. That deep muscular engagement under your chin, that pulling sensation along the front of your neck, that is your platysma and your digastric muscles working together. That is the movement that begins to rebuild the structure beneath the skin. Now tilt your head back, not all the way, just about 45 degrees. You should be looking up toward the ceiling at a gentle angle. You'll feel a mild stretch along the front of your throat. That's good. That's exactly where we want to be. Hold the tongue press for 5 full seconds, then release, then repeat. Stay with me because the next part I'm about to share is where most people make a mistake that actually slows down their results, and I don't want that to happen to you. The mistake I see most often, and this is so common, I want to say it clearly, is people doing this exercise too fast. They tilt, they swallow, they move on, and they wonder why nothing changes. The entire power of this movement lives in the slow, deliberate engagement. Your muscles need time under tension to respond. So when you press that tongue to the roof of your mouth, hold it, count, breathe through your nose, let the muscle actually work. Here's the full sequence I want you to follow. And look, I know this sounds almost too simple for something that actually delivers results, but trust the anatomy here. Movement 1, the tongue press swallow. Exactly what we just did. Head tilted back 45 degrees, tongue pressed firmly to the roof of the mouth, swallow slowly. Hold the tension for 5 seconds after each swallow. Do this 5 times, rest for 10 seconds. Movement to the jaw jut. From the same tilted position, bring your lower jaw forward like you're trying to touch your lower lip to your nose. You'll feel this immediately in the muscles beneath your chin and along your jawline. Hold for 3 seconds. Release slowly. Repeat 8 times. Don't rush. The return movement, the slow release, is just as important as the push forward. That's where the toning happens. Movement 3, the neck resistance press. Bring your head back to neutral chin level, eyes forward. Lace your fingers together and place them gently at the back of your head. Now press the back of your head into your hands while your hands resist. Not hard, just firm. You're creating isometric tension in the deep neck muscles. Hold for 5 seconds, release, repeat 5 times, and that's it. Start to finish, if you move through it with intention and proper pacing, you're looking at 25 to 35 seconds. That's your daily practice. Now, when should you do this? Honestly, the best time is whatever time you'll actually remember. I tell my patients, attach it to something you already do. Brush your teeth, do the exercise. Make your morning coffee, do the exercise. The habits tax onto something existing, and suddenly it's not something you have to remember. It just happens. If this is starting to make sense to you, and I really hope it is, do me one small favor right now. Save this video, because you're going to want to come back to it. I promise you that the exercise is easy to forget the details of, and having it right here means you can always return and do it properly. Now I want to talk about what supports this from the inside, because the exercise does the structural work, but what you eat and drink either accelerates your results or quietly works against them. And this is the part most people skip entirely. Collagen. You've probably heard this word 100 times, but here's what I want you to understand about it. Your body doesn't absorb collagen directly from a cream or even a supplement the way most marketing suggests. What your body does is use specific building blocks, amino acids, vitamin C, zinc, to manufacture its own collagen. So the question isn't, am I applying collagen? The question is, am I giving my body what it needs to make collagen? The amino acids you need come primarily from protein, eggs, fish, chicken, bone broth, which is genuinely one of the richest sources of the specific peptides your skin uses to repair itself. If you're not eating enough protein, your skin repair slows down significantly. And honestly, and I say this because I see it constantly, most women over 50 are eating far less protein than their bodies actually need. Not because they're doing anything wrong, just because nobody told them the requirement goes up, not down, as we age. Vitamin C is the cofactor that allows your body to actually convert those amino acids into usable collagen. Without enough of it, the whole process stalls. You don't need huge doses, just consistent daily intake. A kiwi, bell peppers, strawberries, real food sources absorb beautifully. And then there's hydration. I know everyone says drink more water, but here's why it actually matters for the neck specifically. The skin on your neck is thinner than almost anywhere else on your body. It loses moisture faster. And when skin is chronically dehydrated, it loses elasticity, which means it sags faster and responds more slowly to any kind of toning effort. 8 glasses a day isn't a myth, it's biology. One more thing, and this one is uncomfortable but important. Sun damage to the neck is one of the leading causes of accelerated skin aging in that area. Most women apply SPF to their face every morning and completely forget the neck. The UV exposure that hits your neck while you're driving, while you're walking, while you're sitting near a window, it breaks down elastin and collagen steadily, silently, every single day. So if you're doing this exercise, eating well, staying hydrated, please extend your SPF routine 2 inches lower. It takes 3 extra seconds and it protects everything you're working toward. So let me bring this all together for you, because I want you to leave here with something clear and actionable, not just a collection of information. Every morning, or whatever time works for you, you do 3 movements: the tongue press swallow, the jaw jut, and the neck resistance press. You do them slowly. You feel the engagement. You take 30 seconds and you give those muscles a reason to wake back up. Then you go about your day standing a little taller, chin a little more level, maybe with a slightly different awareness of how you're holding your head at your desk or on your phone. You drink your water, you eat your protein, you remember the SPF on your neck, and you give it 3 to 4 weeks before you make any judgments, because that's how long muscle remodeling takes to show up visibly. Not because the process is slow, it actually starts immediately, but because skin is the last thing to reflect what's happening in the muscle underneath it. The change is happening before you can see it. That's worth remembering on the days when you look in the mirror and wonder if it's working. I've watched this work for women in their early 60s and women in their mid 70s. The biology doesn't have an age cutoff. What it does have is a consistency requirement. Show up for 30 seconds a day, and your body will show up for you. And I want to say one more thing before I let you go because I think it matters. You came here because something was bothering you, something you saw in the mirror that made you feel like your face no longer matched how you feel on the inside. And I understand that feeling completely. I hear it from my patients all the time. But I also want you to hear this, the fact that you're looking for a real solution, a healthy solution, something that works with your body instead of cutting into it. That tells me a lot about you. You're thoughtful, you're patient, you're willing to do the work. So start today, right now, even tilt your head back, press your tongue to the roof of your mouth and swallow slowly. Feel that? That's the beginning, and you deserve to feel good in your own skin, not someday. Now, take care of yourself. You really do deserve that. I'm Dr. Ayla, and I'll see you in the next one.